Look at the guy who just parked his BMW outside an expensive restaurant. He's wearing a $5,000 watch and leaving a $100 tip to impress the waiter. Now, here's the hard truth his Instagram won't tell you. He has exactly $47 in his checking account. He lives transaction after transaction. His designer bag is his only asset, and it's worth 3 times his entire emergency fund. Welcome to the era of fake rich, the greatest shadow play in human history. In 2026, Americans owe $1.3 trillion in credit card debt. We are officially the richest nation in the world. Parking lots are filled with luxury cars, malls are overflowing with Gucci bags, and social media feeds are overflowing with people celebrating success that doesn't exist. Something doesn't add up here, right? Mass consciousness has suffered a fatal flaw. We've learned to perfectly imitate wealth, completely destroying the ability to create it. Real wealth whispers, fake wealth screams. Today, I'll teach you to spot the signs of this masquerade. This isn't just an exercise in Schadenfreude. It's your inoculation against financial suicide. Because while you're trying to impress people who don't care about you, you're burning up the only fuel for your future freedom. Sign number 1, the beggar in a Mercedes trap. Walk into any parking lot. You'll recognize them immediately. This is basic luxury. A BMW in the cheapest series, a Mercedes without a single option, an Audi with a tiny engine and a cloth interior. Car manufacturers are genius manipulators. They created these cars specifically for those for whom the badge on the hood is more important than what's underneath. Consider the math that drives the pseudo-rich into a frenzy. A fully loaded Honda Accord or Toyota Camry costs the same as an empty German sedan. The Honda has a better interior, better reliability, and cheaper insurance. But someone who craves status will never buy a Honda. They want their neighbors in traffic to think they've got it. But here's the trick. This empty Mercedes costs as much to maintain as a spaceship. Every oil change, every part, even that damned premium gas, it's a tax on his vanity. A rich person spends 2% of their income on such things. A fake rich person spends 30%. That difference, multiplied by 20 years of investing, is the price of the oceanfront house he'll never buy because he preferred to look cool at 25. Sign number 2, financial exhibitionism. Real money loves silence. False wealth loves the microphone. If someone can't hold a conversation about pizza without mentioning their big deals, or if any conversation about the weather turns to a discussion of their portfolio's performance, you're talking nonsense. Confidence is silent. Inner emptiness is loud. These people use external confirmation as anesthetic. Notice how they always talk about money in the future tense. I'm closing $1 million deal. This project is going to explode in the market. This is selling promises, because in the present tense, they have a hole in their pocket and an unpaid electricity bill. They confuse revenue with profit. They brag about their business turnover, hiding the fact that after taxes and rent, they earn less than a supermarket cashier. They need you to believe their myth, because then they'll be able to believe it themselves for 5 minutes. Sign number 3, the hostage item. This is the most alarming symptom of financial schizophrenia. You see someone with a $5,000 bag, but you know they have less than $2,000 in their savings account. This isn't a purchase, it's self-theft. It's an attempt to buy a first-class ticket when you don't even have enough money for a reserved seat. Remember Lily's golden rule. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. If one purchase wipes out your monthly budget or forces you to pay the minimum payment on your credit card, you don't own it. It owns you. You didn't buy an accessory. You bought shackles that look like a famous brand's logo. People finance designer clothes by paying interest on an item that depreciates the second they leave the store. It's mathematical suicide. You're paying the bank 30% on top for the right to look successful for 3 seconds in the eyes of people you don't even know. That's not success. It's a cosplay of success. And now, the Blitz exposure. 5 signs of fake rich that hit you right in the face. Sign number 4, chronic one-upper. Whatever you do, they do it better. Bought a house? They'll explain why their neighborhood is more prestigious. Closed a deal? They'll tell you about a client 3 times your size. This isn't confidence, it's sheer fear. The phony rich feel threatened by any success. True wealth allows you to genuinely rejoice for others, because your throne isn't toppled by their victories. Sign number 5, digital performance. If the food wasn't in the stories, it wasn't eaten. If the hotel wasn't geolocated, there was no vacation. For fakes, wealth only exists when it's confirmed by strangers' likes. They live for content, not for life. Real money often has no social media presence at all. They don't need validation from the crowd to know how many zeros they have. Sign number 6, leasing as a way of life. It's a legal drug for those who want to appear cool. They pay for the fastest possible depreciation of a car, only to hand it back 3 years later with not a cent in assets. They're forever paying status rent, never truly owning their lives. Sign number 7, counterfactual thinking. Buying a fake is literally paying money to promote your own lie. You're spending $200 on a counterfeit bag instead of buying a quality, off-brand leather item. You don't care about quality. You care about deceiving others. But the irony is that the people you're trying to impress can see the fake a mile away. You're looking cheap while trying to look expensive. Sign number 8, aggressive advice. False rich people love to tell you how to live. They criticize your reliable Toyota, your modest vacation, or your decision to save 20% of your income. Why? Because your common sense highlights their madness. They need you to start spending too so they don't feel so alone in their debt trap. Sign number 9, chasing schemes. They're always looking for a magic bullet. Crypto signals, shady options, network marketing, revolutionary systems. They hate boring, long-term investing. They need results tomorrow to pay off a loan they received today. They discuss the millions that are just around the corner, while debt collectors keep calling them. True wealth is built the hard way, over years, through discipline and compound interest. But discipline isn't sexy. Discipline can't be put on Instagram with a luxury filter. So they opt for the flashy, bright light that always ends in darkness. And finally, sign number 10, visual noise. The fake rich person is a walking commercial break. Too many logos, too much gold, too much aggressive perfume. They cosplay as B-movie billionaires. They think wealth means being visible from a mile away. But look at the real elite. Mark Zuckerberg in a $20 gray t-shirt. Warren Buffett, who lives in the same house he bought 50 years ago. Steve Jobs in a black turtleneck. These people aren't boring. They just have nothing to prove. Their wealth is their argument, and it doesn't require belt-buckle verification. Real wealth often looks like an old Honda, a safe haven account, and a good night's sleep. It doesn't need applause. It's self-sufficient. Do you know the main tragedy of fake rich? It's working 24/7. It's the constant stress of the facade cracking. You have to renew your car lease. You have to buy a new iPhone. You have to fly on a vacation. You can't afford to take photos that no one cares about. It's a treadmill that speeds up with every promotion. You earn more, and then immediately spend more on maintaining the image of success. In the end, you have no savings, no time, no freedom. All you have is debt and a wardrobe full of clothes that depreciate faster than you can wear them. How do you escape this game? I have an antidote for you. Let's call it margin of freedom. 1. Stop paying the stranger's opinion tax. Next time you're tempted to buy something for status, ask yourself, would I buy this if I were banned from posting photos online? If the answer is no, you're trying to buy someone else's approval. It's the most expensive and useless currency in the world. Leave it to the fools. 2. Optimize margins, not revenue. Rich isn't someone who earns $200,000 and spends $200,000. Rich is someone who earns $60,000 and lives on $30,000. Those extra $30,000 are their armor. It's their ability to say no to a toxic boss, quit at any time, or launch their own project. That's true luxury. The ability to not depend on the next paycheck. 3. Invest in assets that whisper, stocks, bonds, real estate, education. These things don't bring in likes on day one. They're boring. But in 10 years, they'll be feeding you while logo lovers frantically scramble to renovate their 10-year-old luxury cars. Remember, the fake rich optimize how they appear to others. The truly rich optimize how their lives work for themselves. One path leads to burnout, debt, and the eternal fear of being found out. The other leads to quiet, powerful independence. Don't try to look rich. Dedicate your life to being rich. It's slow. It requires discipline. It requires the courage to be different and drive a reliable car while your friends are deeply in debt. But at the end of this path, what awaits you is not the approval of the crowd, but something far more valuable. Options: choice, peace, and quiet. My name is Lily. I'm not here to make you feel bad about your old purchases. I'm here to help you start building your own invisible empire. Starting today. Stop the shadow puppet show. Start counting your margins. Your wealth isn't what you show off. It's what you have left.